At the summit of the mountain range, winter begins to claim every corner of the land. A warm fire burns brightly at the entrance of the cave, a shelter amid the white snow. A sudden flash flood submerges the entire area, the barren valley. The herd of cattle, waiting along the trail buried meters deep in snow. Breakfast begins with the warm milk from mountain goats. The ancient village nestles quietly under a blanket of biting frost. Smoke rises into the blue sky, a sign of resilient life by the hearth. A makeshift group of travelers stops to rest. A solitary tree stands resilient against the wind and mist in the vast forest. Silence. From inside the tent, the pouring rain lashes against the rock wall. The flock of sheep trudges through the narrow alleys of. The crisp laughter of children breaks the silent icy stillness. The murky red torrent sweeps everything away. On its path, the ducks return to their coop. The fire blazes fiercely to drive away the bone-chilling cold. The golden egg is cooked on a hot flat stone. The herder leads the cattle over the pass. Through the misty snowy ridge, the small path leads the way home. Amid the brown of the old earthen walls, heavy footsteps carrying firewood back to warm the winter night. A simple meal, yet so full of the warmth of family inside. Snowballs roll across the yard in front of the house, traces of a joyful day. The sun rises behind the misty clouds covering the distant hilltops. The herd of cattle slowly descends into the deep valley to drink from the stream. Fragrant fresh meat is being grilled on a bamboo rack. Smoked. A mother holds her sleeping child in the soft blue tent. The stream flows gently beside the thick icy bank. The forest stretches out in a gray-white hue. Under the harsh weather, the sheep wander lost among the remaining autumn leaves, still clinging to the trees. The space becomes quiet and mysterious under the mist. Weak sunlight pierces through the gaps in the leaves, illuminating the snowy ground. The work of harvesting dry grass continues. Despite the bad weather, the owner walks alongside the dogs guarding the herd. Far into the distance, hundreds of sheep follow one another, moving across the low mountain slopes. Dawn. On the majestic mountain range bathed in beautiful emerald green, the black sheep leaps over the small rocky crevice. With surprising agility, sunlight sparkles and reflects on the water's surface. The freezing stream, the hoe, digs up layers of thick snow on the winding path. A dream, peaceful by the roaring fireplace in the pitch-black night. The stick strikes hard against the frozen ground. To search for a water source, two farmers lead the herd of cattle through the snow-covered pine forest. The wooden house sits peacefully under the trees, covered in fine snowflakes. A view overlooking the vast valley, blanketed in thick fog. The bull lowers its head to drink from the crystal-clear stream. At the foot of the mountain, carrying a shovel up to the roof to clear the snow before it collapses, the groom and bride clean the yard together. In the chilly weather, looking out from inside the cave, the outside world is hazy and unpredictable. A lone figure walks along the snowy path, accompanied by a loyal dog. The rusty corrugated roof echoes with the steady rhythm of dripping water. Washing hands and feet with cold water at the base of an ancient tree. Clearing the bushes near the shelter to prepare firewood for the night. A tarp is stretched in the middle of the wild forest. A blurry rural landscape painting appears faintly behind the fence. Bright golden straw bundles neatly stacked in the storage shed. Winter. The whole family pulls the large tarp together to cover the makeshift tent. A crude wooden chair, covered with a brightly patterned cloth. In the darkness, the flickering fire is the only light guiding the way. The oil lamp hangs, casting its light. The stove is carefully built right at the tent entrance. Fabric to keep warm. Steaming hot tea, poured into glass cups placed on the snow. The children playfully frolic with the fresh pile of snow. Beside the house, a hunter carries his bag of gear, walking through the forest. 4. A bright fire burns inside the traditional clay stove. The young girl tries to hold up the shelter against the strong wind. Crispy bread is baking evenly golden on the wall of the clay oven. The sheep weave through to find bits of green food under the layer of decaying fallen leaves. The mother goat protects her young from the cold. Under the steep rocky overhang, 3 men work on the roof, under the clear blue sky. Washing cooking utensils directly in the crystal clear stream, transporting giant sacks of goods on horseback, amid the white snow, looking out from inside the buffalo pen. the pasture covered in ash. The rusty iron house in the withered garden. In winter, two children joyfully run and play on the long snowy hillside. The dog sits silently guarding the family. In the late afternoon, the herder leads the cattle home along the muddy dirt path, soaked in mud. The goats stand close to the rock wall, enjoying the warmth from the earth. The sheep wander aimlessly in the misty forest, entangled. The quiet winter scenery blanketed in white, across the hills and mountains. Preparing a fresh straw bed for the livestock to face the coming freezing night. The little puppy lies obediently in the yellow plastic crate. The newborn creature's ceremony in the dark rocky cave. The wet afterbirth clings tightly to the small body of the animal. The herd of cattle moves forward, like a persistent army in the blizzard. The golden dog stands waiting for its owner to return. After a long journey, a lavish feast of grilled meat served on the snow. The sound of 4 hurried footsteps of the owner, chasing after the flock of sheep, feeding the hungry ducks until they are full. After a long day of searching for food, the trail becomes clear as the black and white cattle walk past the majestic mountain silhouette, reaching high to touch the drifting white clouds. Water birds gather to eat, scattered rice grains in the wooden coop, washing clothes by the rushing stream. In the middle of winter, the dirt road is completely destroyed by the violent flash flood, ending a long day with a distant view toward a hazy future. Silence envelopes the valley. Winter drapes the village in a thick white blanket. The herd moves slowly through deep snowdrifts. Even the animals feel the weight of the season. The morning air is biting. The frozen ground awaits the first footsteps. Preparation is the first task of the day. Ingredients are gathered before the sun fully rises. Survival depends on cooperation. Neighbors unite to clear the icy communal paths. The herd travels through the forest in search of sparse grass. Winter brings a quiet solitude to the trees. Fog rolls down the mountain slopes. Inside the rustic shed, warmth is preserved as the fire keeps the frost at bay. Daily chores continue without pause. Wood is collected, essential for the hearth. The landscape shifts. Snow melts into streams, reshaping the ground. Cattle seek shelter in the deep drifts. Their breath mingles with the falling snowflakes. Underneath the tarp, laundry dries despite the chill. Colorful fabrics brighten the gray day. Herds move down the muddy trails. The ground is soft underfoot now. By the stream, a meal is prepared. Simplicity defines their existence. Joy is found in the simple pleasures. Children laugh as snowflakes catch them. The tent provides a sanctuary from the wind. Small fires provide the necessary warmth. High on the mountain peak, a feast is shared. The scenery is the reward for the arduous climb. The rooftops bear the weight of accumulation. Shoulders push the burden away. Narrow alleys turn into rivers of slush. Footprints leave temporary marks in the mud. Baking bread unites the community. Flat loaves crisp on the hot iron. Inside the shelter, raw ingredients await transformation. Hunger drives the activity as steam rises from the cooking pot. The family gathers close to the flame. Communal eating strengthens the bond. Bread breaks easily between them. The stew bubbles thick and rich. Flavors develop slowly over the embers. Freshly baked bread rests on the tray. Golden crusts promise comfort. Soup is ladled into ceramic bowls. Warmth spreads from the belly outward. Chopping wood is physical labor. Sparks fly as the axe meets the bark. Fresh milk flows into metal buckets. This is a staple of their diet. Inside the stove, embers glow red hot. Efficient heat is vital for survival. Dough is kneaded by hand repeatedly. Muscle memory guides the motion. Sauce simmers in a heavy pan. Rich colors suggest deep spices. Water boils vigorously in the pot. Hydration is key amidst the work. Meat grills directly over the ashes. Char marks add texture to the flavor. Night falls quickly in the valley. Lanterns cast long shadows on the walls. Rain sweeps over the village. Mud covers the stones on the streets. The goats hide beneath the tarp. Safety is preferred over exposure. The terrain here varies greatly. Dry hills contrast with the wet valleys. Rain falls steadily. Branches bow under the weight of the water. Structures reinforce each other. Logs are stacked tightly against the cold. Isolation defines the topography. Trees stand alone in the mist. Tools are carried by hand. Heavy burdens borne step by step. The greenhouse protects the seedlings. Green shoots survive the frost. Water rushes down the slope. Erosion happens quickly when the rain falls. Snow returns to the valley floor. A white layer covers the green. Repairs are urgent and necessary. Holes are patched with whatever material is available. Kindling catches fire easily. Paper ignites the wood instantly. Standing alone by the oak tree. Quiet contemplation in nature. Walking through the snowfield. Footprints mark the journey home. Gathering fallen branches. Fuel is always being sought. Vehicles trapped in the snow. Movement halted by the sheer depth. Rivers rage with rushing water. Nature asserts its dominance. Cliffsides reveal layers of history. Waterfalls connect the heights to the base. Houses cluster on the slope. Community offers protection from the elements. Children play on the vibrant rug. Joy persists even in confined spaces. The tents are pitched firmly. Stakes driven deep into the ground. Striped fabric shields the interior. Colors brighten the gloomy days. Flames dance in the hearth. It is the heartbeat of the home. Tea kettles steam over the fire. Warm drinks sustain the workers. Wool blankets provide insulation. Soft textures against the harsh surroundings. Meat preparation is done with precision. Edges trimmed for the best flavor. Building the fire pit, stones surround the core of heat. Rest takes place near the blaze, warming hands over the coals. Smoke rises from the chimney, clear proof of life within. Bark peels from the burning wood. The fire consumes and transforms. Vegetables are peeled with care. Nothing is wasted in the kitchen. Darkness envelopes the camp. Only the fire illuminates the night. Red lights signal presence. Beacons guide the travelers home. Animals wait beyond the entrance. The herd watches silently. Icicles hang like crystals. Winter has truly arrived. The season pauses to take a breath of ice. Winter winds sweep in, carrying bone-chilling cold. But inside the small house, the hearth still burns brightly. Here, it warms the hearts in the freezing winter. The roof must be cleared of thick snow regularly, to prevent the roof from collapsing. Under winter's heavy burden, chopping wood is a familiar task each morning upon waking. 6. Father's hands work as children's eyes gaze at life's changes. The puppies frolic in the first winter breeze. 6. Our people move with donkeys carrying heavy loads. Inside the narrow rocky cave, family bonds grow even stronger, together building temporary walls to shelter one another from rain and wind. Adults clear the path while children run and play freely. At the porch of the old house, diligent hands clear the snow. Each raindrop falls, yet the thatched roof remains steadfast. The loyal dog never leaves its master's side. Inside the crude cave, a gun hunts birds and animals for sustenance. Every step in the snow is a challenge. Vibrant, colorful loads on the donkey's back chase away the cold. Hunting dogs play, breaking the silence of the ancient forest. In the darkness, the oil lamp illuminates the weaver's hands, each colorful thread woven into traditional patterns. Stepping out of the house, crisp laughter echoes across the hills. A hot cup of tea placed on a rock covered in frost. Its rich flavor mirrors life in the Highlands. Traditional garments are woven from sweat. The sweat of labor nurturing the fields in winter. 4. Cooking in the mountains is the mark of a survivor. 5. The flickering fire casts shadows on the silent figure. 2 people roll up their sleeves to clear the path in front of the door. 6. A simple dinner filled with the joy of togetherness. 7. Dawn on the high mountains shrouded in lingering mist. 8. The raging river carries murky red sediment. Children frolic and pose in the pure white sea of snow. The hearth burns dry logs fiercely. Wooden chopsticks stir the fragrant stew pot. Securing the tent before the great storm arrives. Sunlight pierces through the leaves, warming the vast forest. Even rocky soil can bloom with vibrant green. Bare feet walk across treacherous land and sky. Golden wheat awaits the spring harvest. The cattle herder leads the herd in search of pasture. Grains of seed are hope for a bountiful harvest. Autumn. The black cattle graze along the mountain slopes. The mother tirelessly cares for her family. Fresh meat. a precious source of nutrition in nature. Each piece of red meat is skillfully cut. One must carry firewood on the shoulder to cook broth, resting on the slope after a hard day's work. Nature is majestic yet so gentle. The stream rushes through the cold rocky crevice. The sound of flowing water chases away loneliness. A simple campsite in the vast green ocean. A hot cup of coffee by the campfire late at night. Clouds drift across the distant low peaks. Spring knocks at the door with golden sunlight spreading through the forest. Icicles cling to the edge of the corrugated roof. Darkness envelopes the silent village. Stone steps covered in pure white snow lead the way home. The old thatched hut still stands firm against the wind. The wooden house nestles within the pine forest. The wolf sits quietly in the fairy tale landscape. The pure white snow reflects the sunlight. The valley is shrouded in dreamy, hazy mist. Nomadic life drifting among the mountains and forests. The peaks rise to welcome the first winds of the season. The cattle slowly wade through thick snow. Each heavy step full of determination. The mastiff lies half asleep waiting for its master's return, returning to the pen where shelter awaits. A deep gaze into the mysterious night. The herder leads the cattle through treacherous paths. The wind howls through the dry branches. Blue evening smoke rises from someone's chimney. The fire in the tiny tent beside the rock wall burns with all its might to warm the entire winter. Silent in the rain, only the howling wind remains outside. The ducklings huddle and eat their fill in the coop. Layer upon layer of mountains clad in armor of ice and snow. The moment where mountain and sky meet. Dusk falls as people return to the hearth. Simple meals, yet boundless family love. Rising floodwaters threaten the peace. One must always be cautious before nature's fury. The cattle return amid the joyful cheers of children. Early misty morning, someone lights a fire to cook. Standing alone in the thick fog. Stepping out of the tent, the outside world opens wide. The goats walk along the jagged cliffside. Together, smiles bloom on their lips. Torrential rain pours down on the poor countryside.